Okay, so today we are going to be talking about enterprise evolution, the methodology that we at KPIT are using for our value harvesting process. I'm going to describe enterprise evolution as 3 steps to make this easy to understand. And since we're talking about evolution, I'm actually going to tie it into a simple object that all of us know. We all understand what a wheel is. And we understand that the wheel comes all the way from the Stone Age, and therefore evolution is something that's actually happened to the wheel. So a very simple concept. But now if we apply that to value harvesting and we use this concept of enterprise evolution as a methodology, we have to break it down into 3 steps. I'm going to describe 3 distinct steps in the process. Now the first step, step number 1, is our implementation. This is how we actually get to having a system in the first place. Implementation. Now, assuming that we're implementing a wheel in our system, I'm going to straight away start describing the different states of what you end up having after you've done an implementation. Because not everybody does implementation exactly the same way. You may end up with a wheel that actually looks something like this. It has all of the same sort of attributes, except it is not really optimized to move fast in a forward direction. Perhaps your wheel ends up looking something like this. Also is able to move forward, but again, not very optimized. A couple more possibilities. We had a different implementation partner that helped us with this one, and we ended up with something that looked more like this. Our partner believed that 2 holes in the middle made the wheel move faster. That remains to be seen, of course. Or we simply ended up with something that is close to a wheel, closer to a wheel, and moves forward fairly well, but possibly has a little bit more space for improvement. Okay, so implementation of a wheel, but we end up with a number of different possible outcomes. The next stage then in our evolution process is what we call simplify and optimize. So if we start off with a wheel that doesn't work very well, it's fairly obvious that our simplify and optimize process means how do we make that work better? So let's assume our wheel looks something like this. And so we have at the start of our program a wheel that does in fact roll fairly well, but is not quite optimized yet. It has 1 hole. Fortunately, this implementation partner put just 1 hole into it, but we still have this very obstructive corner here that's causing us to get stuck every so often. An optimization program or a simplification program needs to eliminate that, and also needs to give us the ability to actually get a start. So we may actually need some help with a little bit of leverage in order to get the process moving and get the whole thing moving in a forward direction. And the goal of this will be that as part of an optimization program, we'll put pressure on our lever, we'll knock off the corners, and we'll actually start moving forward in this direction of progress. Step number 2. So now what happens? We have a wheel that we've knocked the edges off. We now have it turning just like a flywheel. If we then leave it, once we've given it its first push, over a period of time it is going to slow down and stop. This wheel will end up being a really nice round perfect wheel, but it will be dead still. So that leads us to a 3rd step that needs to evolve. Evolution has to continue, and in order to evolve, we do something that we now need to inject energy into this this flywheel of ours over time. We have to continuously inject energy. So we have a good round wheel, and what we now need to do is have a program that enables us to keep it moving. Let's draw an example here. And so we've fitted this our flywheel with the ability to keep it moving, and the KPIT program is intended then to provide the necessary momentum in order to keep this wheel moving over time, and in fact to accelerate it into the future. Now, one of the things that we will also do as we move forward, as part of our evolution process, we may in fact find that we need to add some additional services, possibly cloud-based, and we'll certainly have some KPIs that we'll need to monitor. We'll add KPIs into the mix so that we can see how well we're doing over time, and we'll create the ability to monitor our performance and our improvements over time. In the three-step process, we've taken the simple wheel, we've established what our shape is, we've optimized it and simplified it for speed, and then we provide an ongoing process of energy injection to keep it moving in time.